We'll have after this 11 more sessions. Total, we intend to have, okay. In total, we intend to have 20 sessions. So let's proceed further and understand more. Let me also wear glasses so that. All right. Now we have for else. Let us talk about this too. We have been talking about conditional statements and the loops. If else, if else loops, nested if else loops, etc. are all called as conditional statements. If a specific condition is met, a particular line of code gets printed. And for loop, while loop, etc. are called as loops. Instead of writing multiple lines of code, you can write a loop and then it gets executed. We have been seeing since the previous session, and we discussed a lot about the loops. Now let's look at some other interesting stuff. Okay. Say you have all these elements, 11, 33, 55, 39, 55, so on and so forth. These are all the elements or items. Using the assignment operator, you are assigning all of these to a variable or object called numbers. For num in numbers, what does it do? This num will go to each and every number. Instead of num, you can also put I. For I in numbers, for j in numbers, for k in numbers. It's your wish. Whatever you want, you can mention that. For num in numbers, if this number modulus 2, this is not division, it's modulus. Modulus means you are interested in understanding whether the number is an even number or not. Because if you divide it by 2, what is the remainder you get is given using this modulus. Modulo or modulus. What it does is, it takes each and every number, divides by 2 and calculates the remainder. Okay, this will give you the remainder. And is equal to 0. If it is equivalent to 0, you're saying print this. Print the list contains an even number. And then break. Stop. If it is not an even number, then you want to print this. So here, if the else statement is used for the for loop, the else block is executed only if for loop terminates normally, and not because it has encountered the break statement. Okay. Now, if you see the indentation, this else is indentated, is aligned with the for statement, not with the if statement. If statement means your else should have started from here, else colon enter. If you enter, print would have started from here. But since it's starting from here, that's different. Okay. So for num in numbers, so this is the first num. If you divide this by 2, if the remainder is 0, then print this and then break. If it's not a, if it's not going to give 0 as a remainder, then what will happen? It will just break and come out. So let me show you what happens. So the first number is 11. Is 11 divided by 2 going to give you 0? No, it will give you some number. So is this condition satisfied? No. This condition is not satisfied. So what will happen is, it will again go back to this loop. And let me give a number 22 here. And let me run it. Let's see what it does. Okay, and then I'll explain. Yesterday, that session got expired, and then what it's doing is when you connect, it will be allocating the resources. And once the resources are allocated, it will start giving you the good results. That's just some hot water. Okay. So what's happening is, for num, that is in numbers, so it will go to the first number. If you divide that by 2, if the remainder is 0, then it will print. If the remainder is not 0, then it will not even go to these lines because the condition is not met. So it will again go back to the for loop. And then it will say number in numbers. Then it will take the second number. It will divide it by 2. And obviously remainder is 0. Since the remainder is 0, it will print the list contains an even number. And then it breaks. It breaks. Okay. And it doesn't go to the else loop. So that is what this does. But then, if here also you have, say, 21 or some odd number, and if I were to run this, what happens is, it will continue this for loop. It will go to this for loop, and it will look at each and every number in these numbers. It will go to 11. 11 divided by 2, the remainder is not 0. So if the condition is not satisfied, it will not execute these. It will go back to the for loop. Again, it will run the for loop. Next number is 21. 21 divided by 2, remainder is not 0. So if it's not 0, condition is not satisfied. If the condition is not satisfied, these lines of code will not get executed. Again, it will go to the for loop. You have 55. 55 divided by 2, remainder is again not 0. So again, it would, print out these. It will not go to these sentences because condition is not met. Again, it will go back to another value. If 39 modulus of 2, again, if the remainder is not 0, then it will not print these values, right? The list, it will not even go to these lines. Again, it will go to the for loop, go to the next number, 55. If 55 divided by 2 is 0, it's not 0, remainder. So again, it will not go to these lines of code. Again, it will go to for loop, next number. If 75 modulus 2, if the remainder is 0, fine. But the remainder is not 0 if you divide 75 by 2. So condition is not satisfied. So this loop will not get executed. Again, it will go to for loop. Again, the same thing, condition won't be satisfied. So it won't print. Again, it will go to the for loop. Condition is not met. Again, for loop. In that way, it will execute all those values. Only after the for loop is completed, it will go to the else loop, because for none of these values conditions met. So it will then go to else loop and print this. This list does not contain even number. Instead, if you have indentation along with this, then what happens? Let's see. Okay, if I were to run this, I think else is not getting indentated properly. Just a minute. Just give me a minute. So sorry, please. Yeah, there we go. So what is happening now? There was some indentation issue, right? I just adjusted that. This else P should be exactly in line with that. And this print P should be exactly in line with that, right? Then that means this else statement is indentated with if. Same values, nothing changed. Now, if I were to execute this, it gives me different numbers. So first you define the variable with bunch of elements or items. Using assignment operator, you're assigning it to this variable. Then for num in numbers, for each and every number, you first take num in numbers, the first number, 11. If 11 modulus of 2 is equal to 0, that means if you divide 11 by 2, if you are getting a remainder, so you are getting a remainder here, that is not equal to 0. So this condition is not met. If that condition is not met, it will go to the else part. If you divide the number by 2 and if remainder is 0, print this, else print this. So 11 by 2, remainder is not equal to 0. So it will go to the else part, else condition, and it prints this. Just because you have a break, it doesn't break there. Okay, it goes still to the else part. Next, again, it will go to the for loop. For num in numbers, it will go to the next number and it will check for the conditions. It will go to the for loop to loop across all these numbers. Then it is evaluating the condition. If number modulus 2 is equal to 0, that means if 21 divided by 2 is equal to 0, that means if the remainder is 0, print this. But 21 divided by 2 will give a remainder 1. So if you say 21 divided by 2, 2 tens are 20, 1 is the remainder. So is 1 equal to 0? No. So what will happen? This condition is not met. These lines will not get printed. But if the remainder is not 0, then it should go to else part and it will print these. Then again, it will go to this for loop and it will loop and pick the next number. If number divided by 2, remainder is 0, print these. But remainder will not be 0, it will be 1. 55 by 2, remainder will be 1. So if part is not satisfied, hence you go to else part and print the number. So if condition is met, print this. If condition is not met, go to else condition and then print those numbers. So in that way, for each and every number, it will traverse and print. This is also odd number, so remainder is not 0, so it will go to the else part and print it. This number, for this number, for this number, this. For all those numbers, you simply print out the results. Okay, you print out all the values. However, if we align this else with the for statement, then what happens? Then it's going to just continue with the for loop and its statement only. It will not come to else because you have aligned else with the for statement. That is the difference. So this indentation is very, very important. Just because of this indentation and the alignment, you'll get different results altogether. And to avoid that, this is how you need to handle. You need to just look at the alignment and work accordingly. Next, enumerating the objects of a list with sequential numbers. Here you have 4 values or 4 elements or 4 items. And using the assignment operator, we are assigning it to an object called names. Either these string elements, when you have square brackets, this is called as a list. In this list, you are giving string elements. String means either you put something in single quotes or double quotes or triple double quotes, right? It will be called as string. So you have names, which is an object. And then, or a variable in which you are adding all these elements or values. And then what are you doing? You're saying enumerate the names and display to me as a list. Enumerate the names and display as a list. So here, one more quick thing that I want to show you is what happens if I don't have list. What does it show me? Just says that you have enumerated, that's nothing. If you say list of enumerate, it will show you all those elements in a list. So if I were to run this, if I were to run that, it says that this first element is assigned a value 0, second element index number 1, third is index number 2, fourth is index number 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. That's how we are assigning. Okay, next. Once again, we are creating a variable or an object, and you're assigning these 4 elements to this object. And you're either putting them in single quotes or double quotes or triple double quotes. We know that. These are called as string elements. And then you're writing a for loop. What are you saying? For I, j in enumerate names, print index is 0 and the value of index is 1. And the format in which we want that is I, and the format in which the values are given is I, j. For example, if you look at the list of enumerate names, what does that do? It contains something called as I, something called as j. I, j, I, j, I, j. When I equal to 0, j equal to Rishu. When I value equal to 1, j value equal to Ayush. When I value is 2, j is Ram. When I is 3, j is this. In that way. But then it need not be here. Names have been slightly rearranged. Let me ensure that the names here and here are the same. Let me run it. Okay. So this is I, this is j. Index number of 0. So this, for each of these, index number 0 is this, index number of 1 would be this. For this also, this is index number 0, this is index number 1. For this also, this is index number 0, this is index number 1. For this also, this is index number 0, this is index number 1. And the format in which you have is I, j. Yes, I, j, I, j, I, j. I is equal to 0 throughout. J is equal to 1 throughout. And you're saying wherever I have the index number 0, that is the index value. So index is, you're saying, whatever you have in 0, you have 0. For the next, it is index is 1. Next index is 2. Next index is 3. But be it 0 or 1 or 2 or 3, they all hold index number zeros. So index is 0. It's printing. And the value of index is 1. 1 is this. Vishu, Ayush, Ram, Shu. And the value of index is Vishu, or the value of index is Ayush. Value of index is Ram. Value of index is Shu. So whatever you have in index number 1 will get printed out here. Simple. And it's a for loop. So it will print for all these 1, 2, 3, 4, each thing. Each time it prints out the results. You might feel that this is a touch complicated, but trust me, if you start typing and start practicing, things will fall in place. Rome was not built in a day. It needs some amount of practice. So practice makes you perfect, friends. Next, let's get into while loop. So the first while loop here is I equal to 0. You are initializing, you're just assigning a value 0 using assignment operator to a variable 1. Then you're saying while I is less than 10, print number is I. And then increment the I value with I plus 1. So initially I is 0, right? Is 0 less than 10? Yes. So it will, since the condition is satisfied, I is 0, 0 is less than 10. So print number is 0. Then here I equal to 0 plus 1. So I value will become 1 now. So again, it will go back to the while loop. While I is less than 10. So 1 is obviously less than 10. So it will print number is 1. And then you have I equal to I plus 1. I equal to 1 plus 1. Now I becomes 2. So again, it will go to the while loop. While 2 is less than 10. Yes, 2 is less than 10. So it will go print this. It prints number is 2. I is 2. But then it again increments. I equal to I plus 2. So I equal to, now I value is 2. So it says it does 2 plus 1 addition. Now the I value will become 3. Again, in the while loop, is I less than 10? Is 3 less than 10? Yes. So the condition is satisfied. Then it will go print this number. Print the number is I is equal to 3. So the number is 3. Now again, it will increment. I equal to 3 plus 1 because I equal to I plus 1. 3 plus 1. So now I becomes 4. I equal to 4. Again, while loop. Is 4 less than 10? Yes. So print again. The number is 4. Again, it gets incremented. I equal to, this time 4 plus 1. So you get I equal to 5. Then it will go to the while loop. Again, it prints in this way until it reaches 10. For I equal to 9, until there it prints. Then what happens? I equal to 9 plus 1. So I value will be 10. So when it goes to while loop, is 10 less than 10? No. So the condition is not satisfied. So it will stop. The loop stops. If I go to run it, you get to see the result. Now, If I'm going to initialize I equal to 0, while I is less than 10, you're saying pass. Let me run it. It is not even going to the next line. Why? I equal to 0. Yes, 0 is less than 10. So pass it. Pass means it will skip everything else. It will come out. That's it. Pass on. Do nothing. Pass means do nothing. Just come out. Then you have continue statement. Again, I equal to 0. While I is less than 10. So here I equal to 0. Is 0 less than 10? Yes. Then you go to this line. I equal to 0 plus 1. So I value equal to 1. If you have a condition now, this is a loop and this is a condition. If I is equal to 5, is I equal to 5? No. If I is equal to 5, you're saying continue. Otherwise, print. So you're printing number is 1. Next again while loop. Now I is equal to 1. Is 1 less than 10? Yes. 1 is less than 10. So it will go to this. I equal to I plus 1. So I equal to 1 plus 1. You get I equal to 2. If 2 equal to 5, continue. So, but 2 is not equal to 5. So it will go and print. It will not continue the while loop. It will just print that the number is 2. I is 2. Then with I equal to 2, is 2 less than 10? Yes. So I equal to I plus 1. That is I equal to 2 plus 1. You get I equal to 3. If 3 equal to 5, is 3 equal to 5? No. No. So it will not go to the next continue. It will go and print. So the number is 3. Now with I equal to 3, again go to the for loop. Is 3 less than 10? Yes. If yes, then I equal to 3 plus 1. So you get I equal to 4. If 4 equal to 5, no, 4 is not equal to 5. So that condition is not satisfied. Hence, it will go and print this value. Now with I equal to 5, go ahead. If I equal to I equal to 4, 4 is less than 10. Yes. So I equal to I plus 1. That is I equal to 4 plus 1. That means I is equal to 5. If I equal to 5, yes, 5 is equal to 5, then continue. So it will not go to print statement. It will just continue and it will go here. That's the use of continue phrase. Then again, while I equal to 5 now, 5 is less than 10. Yes. Then go to I equal to I plus 1. I equal to 5 plus 1, which is 6. If I equal to 5, no, 6 is not equal to 5. So it will print the statement once again. It will print that number is 6. So the only part which is getting missed is the number is 5. That is because if 5 equal to 5, you are saying continue. In that way, it will continue until all the values are exhausted. Okay. So here you're getting number is 10 also. So what happens is ideally if you continue this channel. Say until I equal to 10. Okay, or I equal to 9. When I equal to 9, what happens? Is 9 less than 10? Yes. So I equal to I plus 1, which is I equal to 9 plus 1, which is nothing but 10. Now I value will become 10. The previous line was I equal to 9. Now it becomes I equal to 10. If 10 is equal to 5, is it equal? No. So what should it do? It should print out the results. And then now if you take I equal to 10 and go back to the while loop, is 10 less than 10? No, not satisfied. So it will stop the loop and come out of the loop. I can run this and show it. Now let's run two more while loops and see. See, we have used pass statement. We have used nothing. Just we ran the while loop. Then we have used pass. Pass means if the condition is satisfied, it will pass. It will not do anything. Then within that while loop, if you use continue, what happens? We have just seen. Within that while loop, if you have break, what happens? Let me run it and then show you the results. Let's see. You're saying I equal to 0, while I is less than 10, that is 0 less than 10. True. 0 is less than 2. What should you do? You should go to this line. I equal to I plus 1. That means I equal to 0 plus 1. That means I value is 1. In this while loop, you have a condition. If I is equal to 5, that is if 1 equal to 5, is 1 equal to 5? No. So it will not go to the next line. It will go out of that loop, out of the if statement, and it will print this. Number is I is 1. Now with I equal to 1, go back to the for loop. Is 1 less than 10? Yes. So do I equal to I plus 1. I equal to 1 plus 1. That means I equal to 2. If 2 equal to 5, that condition is true, then go to the next statement. But 2 is not equal to 5. So it will go here and print that the number is 2. Then with I equal to 2, go here. While 2 is less than 10, I equal to I plus 1. That is I equal to 2 plus 1. Now I becomes 3. If 3 equal to 5, then go to the next statement and break it. But 3 is not equal to 5. So it just goes to the print statement. It says number is I, which is 3. Now with I equal to 3, go to while loop. Is 3 less than 10? Yes. Then go to the next statement, execute that. I equal to 3 plus 1. So you get I equal to 4. If 4 equal to 5, break. But is 4 equal to 5? No. So what do? You print the next number is 4. Then you say, well, 4 is less than 10. Yes, 4 is less than 10. Go to I equal to I plus 1. You say I equal to 4 plus 1. And then you get I equal to 5. If I equal to 5, that is if 5 equal to 5, break. Stop. And that is what is happening. See the next line, it didn't go to print statement. It just broke the loop. And we have come out of the loop. That is the use of the break statement, which is used within while loop. So we have seen pass, continue, and break. These are the 3 things that we have seen, if you see here. What will happen if I use pass? What will happen if I use continue? What will happen if I use break? Within while loops. While is a loop, if is a condition, conditional statement. So now, within a while loop, I'm going to use else. Then what happens? Let's see. If I were to run this, I equal to 0. So you're initializing, you're assigning I equal to 0. While I is less than 10, 0 is less than 10, obviously. You're saying print the number is I. So it will just go to this, it will print. And it says I equal to I plus 1 also, increment also should happen. So I equal to, I is 0 initially, 0 plus 1. So I value is equal to 1. Now it will go back to the while loop again. I equal to 1. Is 1 less than 10? Yes. So print this. That the number is 1. Then increment I equal to I, which is 1 plus 1. Now I equal to 2. So you go here. While 2 is less than 10, You print the number is 2. Then again increment it. I equal to 2 plus 1. So I equal to 3. Then go back to the while loop again. Keep continuing this while loop, right? Until where? Until I equal to 9. Now what happens is 9 less than 10? Yes. If you print, the number is I, which is 9. Then increment I value. So I becomes 9 plus 1. So I value will be 10. Then while 10, is 10 less than 10? No. 10 is equal to 10, but 10 is not less than 10. So now it comes out of this loop and it goes to else part and prints the loop ends here, or loop has ended. That is whatever you have here gets printed, and then it stops. So this is how you can use if statement within while. You can use else statement, which is slightly indentated along with the while loop. Okay. Now let's look at nested loops. Okay. Always after comma, if you give a space, it is in line with the best practice. So I'm just showing you the best practice over there. Okay. All right. Okay, I think there is some spelling mistake here. Let me see. Code below is for your understanding. I'll just ensure that grammatically also we are correct. Right? Now, you have a list, and you're getting both of these 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8. These are 2 elements within a list. Then you're saying print the list. And if at all you have a new line, or then print a new line. Show me a new line, then is what you're saying. So when you do this, whatever is part of list 1 would get printed here. And it's also creating a new line. Okay, done. Next one. For I in list 1. For I in list 1, for j in I, what does this do? Let's see. Let me scroll it up and then show you. Okay. This is I equal to, you can say 1 or 0. Indexing is 0. This is I equal to 1. When you say for I in list of 1, first it will go to I equal to 0. If it goes to I equal to 0, then you're going to this 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're saying for j in I. So this will be j equal to 0. This will be j equal to 1. This will be j equal to 2. This will be j equal to 3. J equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. Index numbers. Then what you're doing is here for j in I means for each value within this I, print square of j is whatever is written here will get printed. Square of 1 is that value here, j equal to 0, index value has 1. 1 raised to the power 2. This is raised to the power 2 will be 1 only. Done. Again, it will go back to the for loop. This for loop. For j in I. So now I equal to 0 is going on. And j in that already 1 is done. It will go to 2. So it will again come back to this print function. Print square of 2 is 2 square. 2 square is how much? 4. So square of the j value is 2 is 2 raised to the power 2 is 4. Again, if you go to this for loop, for j in I, it will, I is I equal to 0, this first one. And for j in I, it will go to this 3. It will print square of 3 is 3 raised 3 square. 3 square will be 9. Then again, for j in I, this is I equal to 0. For j in that, now the j value is 4. You say square of 4 is 4 raised to the power 2, 4 square, which is nothing but 16. Okay, it's nothing but 16. Then after that, now that j values are exhausted in I, it will come out of the for loop, print a new line. After printing, this part is done. Again, it will go back to this for loop. Again, it will start. This time, what will happen is, for I in list 1, for I in list 1, right? List 1 has I equal to 0 and I equal to 1. I equal to 0 is done. Now it will go to I equal to 1. Go to this part. And here for j in I, this will have j equal to 0. This will have j equal to 1. This will have j equal to 2. And this will have j equal to 3. For j equal to 0, for j in I means for the first element, square of j, that is square of 5, is 5 raised to the power 2, which is 25. Then for j in I, that means it will go to the second j value for j equal to 1. I is 1. In this index number 1, you have 4, right? So for j in I, what it does is, it will go to the second, this is done. It will go to the second element, 6. It will come to this, print square of 6. Square of 6 is 6 square. So square of 6 is 36. It gets printed. Next, it will go to this for loop. For j in I equal to 1 is what is going on. For j in that, now the next j value, you type square of 7 is 7 square is 49. Then again you go to this. For j in I, now I equal to 1. For j in that would go to 8. Square of 8 is 8 square is 64. Then it will come out of this, print a new line, and then it will quit because everything is exhausted now. This is how the nested loop operates. Once again, if you're finding it a touch difficult, the solution that I have for you is practice. This is like not normal swimming. This is like backward strokes, or this is like butterfly stroke, right? Different swimming variants would be there. It's like that. Through practice, anything can be achieved. I mean, for the first time when you see, you might feel, oh my God, it's too complicated. But as in how you practice, you will gain that expertise. Okay, and that is what is needed. You can easily gain expertise and do wonders. And here we have a best example, one of the best examples of nested loops. So we are printing here a triangle shaped star. How do I print it? Right? Very interesting thing. Let's see. You first of all define n value, which is number of stars. K equal to n plus 1. That means number of spaces that you want. K equal to n is 6 means k equal to 7. That's all. For I in range of 0 comma n, this range of 0 comma n would give you what? Range of 0 comma 6, n is 6. Range of 0 comma 6, because n is 6, would give you 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. For I in range of these values, you're saying for j in range of 0 comma k. So for j in range of 0 comma k is nothing but n plus 1, 7, 0 comma 7. So for this, you get if it's 0 comma 7, you get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then what are you saying? Print space, and I mean starting should be space and end with no space. First give a space and then don't give any space is what you say. Hold on. Let's first understand this. Okay. And if you understand this, nothing like that. And then what are you saying? K equal to k minus 1. Then you're writing another for loop. For j in range of 0 comma I plus 1, you print star. You started with star and then a space, then end with nothing. Don't give any space. Then you print these in recurring sequence. Okay. After the compilation, after the completion of star, after the completion of star, I mean printing of star, start again from new line. This is what you want to do. Now let's take each value. Don't get confused. There's nothing to get confused here. Very slowly we'll understand, and these kind of loops will help you immensely understand the concepts. Just let us nail it. Let us crack it. So the first value will be for I in range of what? 0. All right. Now the I value equal to 0. For j in range of, again, first value is 0. So j equal to 0. So for I in 0 and for j in 0, what do you want to print? Print space and end with no space. Print space and then don't end with anything. Next, what are you saying? K equal to k minus 1. So the k value here is 7, first of all, right? Now you're saying k equal to 7 minus 1, so k value will be 6. So now for j in range of 0 comma I is 0, 0 plus 1. But then even before that, we are not done with the for loop here. Okay, we are not done with the for loop. So let me do one thing. Let me go back to this for loop once again. Sorry. I'll first complete this for loop and then we'll come back. You print this, or let me do one thing, friends. Okay, I understand. I mean, there are only probably 7 minutes or so. Within that time frame, I probably will not have time to complete this part. Okay. So I will just park it for next session. And instead, let me go to this function. Let me explain something, easy here. And then in the next session, we would get started with this. We will spend more time on this. We'll understand each and every section, right? Because given that I have only 6-7 minutes, I'll not be able to complete that. So let me complete this. Don't worry, it's on me. I'm going to explain you about printing the triangular stars in a very, very easy manner. Just hold on. If same requirement is repeated in the same code. I'll just remove this. So these are a few, examples of examples pertaining to advantages of using functions. When it comes to functions within Python, you have two sets of functions. One is inbuilt functions. Okay, you have inbuilt functions. Another is user-defined functions. So you have inbuilt functions, you have user-defined functions, both. Here, you're just saying print hello function.python. If you want to print it again, you type it again, print hello function.python. Again, you print it, again, you print it. Keep doing that. So what's happening? This print function would give the result here. This print function will give the results here. This print function will give print out the results here. This print function will print out the results here. So you're printing that result 4 times. Now, you can also define a function and ensure that you write a line one time and that gets printed multiple times. Or you can reuse that function multiple times. So here you can just say, you're defining a function called hello world. You're defining a function called hello world. And then within that, you're saying, I want to print a statement called hello world. That's it. You say define a function. You can give any name to the function. You can absolutely give any name to the function. Open and close the brackets, colon and enter. The moment you click on enter, it will automatically create indentation. So print hello world. Now, if you say, if you call this function, say hello, then it will automatically print hello world for you. So each time you want to print hello world, you just say hello, call that function, that's it. Here, if you just want to define a function and not define any value, you just do this. You're defining a function, you're giving a function name, and then you're saying pass. Pass means it will come out. Just come out of the loop. Doesn't do anything, just come out of the loop. We are writing a simple function here. We are saying define hello, name, age, and salary, colon, enter. The moment you click on enter, it will automatically create indentation. And then you're saying print hi. You want the name, whatever you give here, you want that to be printed, comma, your age, colon, whatever age you give here, that will get printed, comma, your salary, whatever salary you give here gets printed. So I'm saying hello, this function. You're giving the name, age, and salary. Automatically, those things should appear here. Let me run it and show you the result. What is it saying? Hi, Nikhil. Your age is 25. Your salary is 50,000. Okay, that's how simple it is when you define your functions. Either you can define an empty function, do nothing, or you can give these kind of details. And when you give these arguments, it will print out the result for you. Next, we are defining another user-defined function where you're saying add a comma b, and you're saying what should it return? It should return a plus b. That's what you have defined. Okay, so some information is given. So if I say add 2 comma 3, what does it do? Add is a function that you have defined. So it will go to that. Add immediately to understand that you have already written a function. A comma B. A is 2, B is 3. A is 2, B is 3. What should it return? A plus B, which is nothing but 2 plus 3. And 2 plus 3 will be 5. This line here is so when you run this, it prints the value as 5. Here, there are multiple ways. If you just say 2 comma 3, that is fine. Okay. Or you can say add a equal to 2 comma b equal to 3. That is also something that you can do. Let's see what happens when you do that. Add a equal to 2 comma b equal to 3. It's saying 5. Always use space like that so that it's very well written and it's in line with the best practices. Now here, a equal to 2, b equal to 3. So 2 plus 3 is 5. You can either define it like this, because you're giving add a comma b, a equal to 2, b equal to 3, or you write it directly 2 comma 3. Either way, it's going to work. Okay. So I'm okay. So what we will do, friends, is stop here. And let me tell you that tomorrow, for some reason, we will not have this session. Okay. But we would certainly try to have this session on Saturday. So tomorrow, which is Friday, will not have the session, but I'll ensure that on Saturday, I conduct the session so that in a week, 5 sessions are done. Once again, my request will be, please notify to as many people as possible and ask them to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Data science using Python is coming up. Okay. In a nutshell, I wish to explain you all data science using Python, because you're learning Python. If you apply it in data science, it will make sense for you all. Right? So ask them to certainly subscribe. Your friends, relatives, well-wishers, close associates, tell them. Second, on LinkedIn, we have posted questions. Please follow our page and also answer the questions. Okay, answer the questions on the comment section. Please do that without fail. All right. And then I think that's it. As I promised, you'll get the certificate as well, and we'll talk about those things later. Thank you all so much, friends. And this piece of code, I'm going to talk about that tomorrow first thing. Sorry, not tomorrow, day after. Okay. Thank you all so much. Have a great day. Bye until then.